उस पे कमेंट करे, ये सबसे दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। ऐसा कभी नहीं होता।
प्लीज
अगर मैं कभी पब्लिक भाषण में कुछ कहता हूँ या मेरे पार्टी के ऑफिस में कुछ कहता हूँ, can the chairman or anybody can take the cognizance of it? Therefore, there are several rulings he quoted, and they are against this procedure. Therefore, sir, whatever is said here, that should be removed, that should be withdrawn, and I humbly request you, kindly expunge it, and it is not good in the interest of democracy, and this will become a precedent. Tomorrow I will speak something in Bangalore. If you comment, our chair comments, that is very bad. Therefore, I request you, sir, kindly expunge that and create a new precedent that whatever is spoken outside, it should not be taken. And a member who is of other house, about him, you should not comment.
Very unfortunate.
Leader of the House, Leader of the Opposition has raised in sublimity an issue. Confine your response.
I will only talk about that, sir. Honorable Chairman, sir, I wish the Leader of the House would also reflect that a very high constitutional authority, a person who represents the entire country, a person who has been duly elected by the members of both houses of parliament, holds the very august chair and is the Honorable Vice President of India. It is very unfortunate that the Honorable Member of Parliament, even though she may be from the other house, has chosen to cast aspersions on this very high office. And therefore it was very, very appropriate that a response was given. It is our bounden duty of the entire house to maintain the dignity of the chair, to maintain the dignity of the high esteemed office, constitutional office that is held by you, sir. And therefore I would urge the Leader of the Opposition to reflect whether the comments were in good taste, whether the comments were appropriate, whether the comments were called for at all in the first place, whether in the house or out of the house. I think it is for all of us also to reflect the high constitutional authorities have to be respected.
Please. Honorable Dr. Keshav.
Casting aspersions will not exist at all. This is about a simple proposal made. Anything spoken outside,
okay,
let us not make it controversial as far as this house is concerned.
Okay.
House is only concerned about what happens within the house.
Thank you, Dr. Keshav.
Outside the house.
Thank
this
you.
has been
Thank
the
you.
procedure, this has been the ruling.
Thank you, Dr. Keshav. Thank you. Honorable members, please. Honorable members, yesterday was a day on which my attention was drawn to the statement that was in public domain imparted by the Honorable Chairperson of the UPA. Every member of the House, either here or there, is entitled to highest respect. From this chair, I cannot emanate any perception or reflection without being in highest order of care, caution, and decorum. I therefore sought the exact draft of it. After going through the draft, I gathered that the reflections imparted by me in my capacity as chairman of this august house on December 8 came for inappropriate reflections. I have, honorable members, diluted my stance to the maximum level. I would invite your attention to get your guidance and wisdom on what troubled me. My attention has been drawn to a statement imparted by the Honorable Chairperson of the UP on 21st December 2022 mentioning, I quote, and you'll appreciate, I could not have personally compromised my dignity more than I did in my subdued response. And what was said was, quote, a troubling new development is the calculated attempt underway to delegitimize the judiciary. That's her perception, I have nothing to say. That is in her domain, duly entitled. In public discourse, you may reflect on it. That is an issue that doesn't concern me. Ministers and even a high constitutional authority have been unlisted, mark the word, unlisted, to making speeches attacking the judiciary on various grounds, unquote. Honorable members, can your chairman be, would you please have patience to listen to me? Can the chairman who said something, please. Honorable members, I indicate to you, I will preserve to an extreme decorous degree what I say from this chair. This office cannot be allowed to be dragged on partisan stance. I cannot be unlisted. I assure the leader of the opposition, I cannot be unlisted. Please take your seat, Mr. Dhankhar. I cannot be unlisted either by them or by you to delegitimize judiciary. I suffered the allegation that I was part of a system to delegitimize judiciary, which means sounding a death knell of democracy. Once again, please, I was expecting the honorable members to appreciate my subdued response. Shri GVL Narasimha Rao. Shri GVL Narasimha Rao.
मेरा शून्यकाल का प्रस्ताव बहुत ही गंभीर मामले पर है.
So it is opposition versus Treasury once again in Rajya Sabha. This time when the chairperson's position has been dragged in, but Chairperson Vice President there, Jagdeep Dhankhar, saying that, I will not allow this constitutional position to be dragged into partisan politics. Pallavi Ghosh is here with me. So Pallavi, even though Mallikarjun Kharge and the opposition tried its best to impress upon the chair that Sonia Gandhi's comments were made outside the house, she's a member of the other house and therefore anything said against her in Rajya Sabha should be expunged, but the chair disagrees.
Yes, but if you go by the rule, that's usually the norm. I mean, what has been said outside the house or what has been said in Lok Sabha, and in this case, she actually was speaking at the Congress Parliamentary Party meeting, which was just before the Lok Sabha had begun for that day. And those are the grounds with Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, who's himself the leader of the Congress Party in Rajya Sabha, is making, that this kind of comment, which was issued by the Vice President, who's also a chairperson of Rajya Sabha yesterday, and we put out those statements and which he was referring to again today, that has to be expunged. Sonia Gandhi's name cannot be mentioned inside Rajya Sabha because she is not a member of the Rajya Sabha. Clearly, the government not budging an inch on that itself, because Mr. Piyush Goyal completely rejected that demand. But more than that, Jagdeep Dhankhar himself goes on to explain that how he cannot be blamed for violation of the democratic norms as alleged by Sonia Gandhi. So even on the last day, as Lok Sabha is adjourned sine die, in Rajya Sabha, the confrontation continues as moments before even Rajya Sabha gets adjourned.
Right, but this is the second time we have seen same arguments, isn't it? Even earlier, when Mallikarjun Kharge's comments made at the Bharat Jodo Yatra became a subject of opposition versus treasury, tu main, both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Then too Congress made the same argument.
Yes, and the normal procedure, as we all know when we cover Parliament, is that any clippings, for example, that matter, or newspaper clippings, the rules do not even allow you to make a reference to it or show it inside the House. Anything which is outside the House cannot be mentioned inside the House. A comment made outside in a rally or campaign by protocol should not be mentioned inside the House, or action cannot be taken against that particular member. That's what the rule says. But what happens is when Parliament also becomes a political battleground, that doesn't always really happen. And that is why the government says that Sonia Gandhi, being the chairperson of the Congress Parliamentary Party, her comments cannot be dismissed away on the grounds that she was speaking outside the Parliament, or she's just a member of the Lok Sabha. Clearly, the Congress Party also, who we have been seeing has been pretty aggressive in this session, is not going to be accepting that. And also, I think this is going to set the stage for that confrontation in future also between the chairperson of Rajya Sabha and the opposition, but more specifically with the Congress Party.
Right. Pallavi Ghosh, thank you.